Hi guys, it's Masterath here, and welcome back to the third week of the Global Trophy 2020.
Yes, this week we're here for the African Preliminary League. Obviously last week, a fantastic job in the end by Malaysia.
Yes, for the Asian Oceania League, with only one Oceania team going through, that being second place in that league, New Zealand.
Yeah, they did a good job as well. They started slowly but really picked up towards the end.
But here it's time for Africa, and we'll see how things go with this one. There are a couple of teams here who are pretty decent teams. There are some teams here that are not so good, but I guess we'll find out who's going to go through.
Are you sure we got it right this time?
I sure hope so. That looks right. I hope so. Screw it, we'll go for it. Right. So first up, our dud team, which will be Lesotho. Lesotho.
Lesotho.
That I always call them Lesotho. That's right. Yeah, those guys, they'll be our dud team for this league.
Yep, it's just a shame that FIFA rankings work that way.
Yep, and they're followed closely by Tanzania, who actually do have a chance.
They do, but I don't think they've got much of a chance.
Well, you never know. Next up, we have Comoros.
Never heard of them.
Comoros, from Africa. Obviously, they're not in this game. Yep. So
who are they represented by?
Yep. So Comoros are represented by the team that is the next lowest to them in the rankings, which is Andorra.
Well, there you go. So Andorra.
Yep.
Participating in this competition.
Yep. Next is Rwanda.
The only thing I know about Rwanda is visit Rwanda sponsor Arsenal.
Nice. And they used to have a flag which just had a massive R on it. I remember that much too. It's actually in this game.
Yeah.
They've changed it since. Next up, it is South Sudan, but we just have Sudan, so there you go.
Yep. It's one of those countries that is... They've split now, haven't they, Sudan and South Sudan?
Yeah, but North Sudan doesn't really have a football team, I believe, so...
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Next up, honestly, probably a team that I'm shocked to see this low, which is Togo.
They used to have Emmanuel Adebayor, didn't they?
Yeah.
Back in the day. And they're quite a decent side in terms of this game as well.
Exactly, they're pretty decent. Next up, we have, again, another team that are pretty decent, actually, in the African section. Angola.
Yeah, I think they made a World Cup a few years ago.
But they've plummeted. They've plummeted completely, and they're now in this situation. So
yeah, but kind of like Czech Republic, really.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Malawi.
Don't know anything about Malawi.
Nor do I.
Okay.
Next up, it's our first Guinea.
Oh, one of the Guineas.
This time, it's Guinea-Bissau.
Yeah, Guinea-Bissau. Do you remember that time there was 3 of them and they all made it through to round 2 and they all lost?
Yeah, I believe so, yeah. Well, it may happen again this time, who knows?
It might happen again, you never know.
Next up, former Global Trophy finalists. They made it to the top 32 once. Sierra Leone, I remember that time.
Wow. Crazy. Crazy times.
Very crazy times. Next up, it is Namibia.
Don't really know much about Namibia either, really.
I know in one of my old rugby games I got on the Sega Mega Drive, Namibia was actually a team in that.
Oh, okay.
So they apparently had at least a semi-decent rugby team back in the 90s.
There you go.
So there we go. Next up, Niger.
Not Nigeria. Critically.
No.
Well, they're definitely not.
Very weak Nigeria. I believe Niger is one of the much weaker teams in this game, if I remember correctly. Next up is Zimbabwe. We're going to be moving swiftly along.
Yeah, they actually do have a Premier League footballer now, do Zimbabwe.
They also had that in the 90s, didn't they, with Bruce Grobbelaar?
No, he was South African, wasn't he?
Fairly certain he was Zimbabwean.
I'm going to Google that. But the player they have these days is an Aston Villa player, Marvellous Nakamba.
What a name.
His name is Marvellous.
What a name that is.
Yeah.
But yeah, go Google it, because I'm fairly certain Bruce Grobbelaar is Zimbabwean.
I'm Googling it now. Carry on.
Yeah.
Oh, he is Zimbabwean. How about that?
Told you. Do you know why?
There you
Because Bruce Grobbelaar came through Crew's youth system. That's how I know it.
Oh, there you go then.
Alongside Robbie Savage.
There you go.
Probably not a good
Oh,
one for
no.
that.
See, there you go. He was born in South Africa. But he was Zimbabwean.
Yep, there you go. Next up, it's Car. The Car in Africa, Car. The Central African Republic.
They've also got a high-end footballer these days. In Jeffrey Kondogbia.
And also, they got one of the weirdest flags in football. In the world, actually.
Uh-huh.
Which is just so many colours and then a random star in the top left. It's weird.
So strange.
Very weird. Next up, it's Kenya. Kenya, depending on how you like to pronounce it.
Decent side as well. I'm surprised they're quite low as well.
Yeah. And last but not least, Mozambique. Mozambique. Mozambiscuits.
Mozambiscuits.
They are the top ranked side in this preliminary, so
Interesting.
could see them do very, very well.
Yeah. We'll see how they get on. I mean, I think probably the favourites for this are probably Kenya.
Yeah, certainly, yes. Obviously, the Thutu here is going to be our dud team. And we shall begin.
Hell yes.
With Angola versus Comoros to kick things off.
It's not a solid side, is it? It's Angola versus Andorra. It's not a particularly glamorous tie.
Glamorous result for Angola, though. 4-0.
Easy peasy.
Guinea-Bissau going to get their first points on the board. They've got Lesotho next.
Good start for Guinea-Bissau. Might be the only win they get, but you never know.
Certainly could be, but we're not too sure. Lesotho with their first amount of points on the board. RJ Fernandez is here as well.
The absolute,
Indeed, I've just woken up. That's probably why it probably worse than what it usually is.
I feel that.
Well, that's always the way, isn't it? When it's all like you have a cold, it's always worse in the morning, and then it gets progressively easier throughout the day.
Absolutely.
But it's like when you wake up, it's awful. And with that, let's see being the man of the match for doing bugger all.
Because he's a legend.
Indeed he is. Malawi now versus Namibia.
Tough one to call this. I'd probably go for Namibia.
It's Malawi, 1-0.
Good result for them.
Next up, it's Rwanda versus Niger.
Probably two of the bigger teams in this one, but there you go.
Rwanda with a 1-0 win.
There you go.
Next up, Sierra Leone versus South Sudan.
Sierra Leone, maybe?
It is a Sierra Leone win, 3-1.
Good result. Good result for Sierra Leone.
Next up, Togo versus Tanzania.
Togo win for me.
It is 3-0 to Togo.
I think they're probably going to be one of the dark horses in this league as well.
I would certainly say so. I mean, Togo have done pretty okay in the Global Trophy altogether, so shocked to see them this low, but they're making the most of it. Next up is the Central African Republic versus Zimbabwe.
I'm going to go for a Zimbabwe win.
It is 4-1. Zimbabwe also not a bad team in the Global Trophy per se.
No, they're not. I think they've made the top 32 before.
I think they have, yeah, on at least one occasion. And I think it was pretty recent, maybe like 3 years ago, 4 years ago, something like that.
Yeah.
Next up, big clash here. Mozambique versus Kenya.
I'm going to go for a Kenya win.
It is 2-0 to Kenya.
Sorry if you can hear my typing in the background, I do apologise.
That's right. So next up, it is Andorra versus Guinea-Bissau. Sorry, Comoros versus Guinea-Bissau.
I would just call it Andorra. Why not?
Well, Comoros just got the win. 2-0.
This is also good for Andorra, because Andorra never actually got to compete in the European section either.
That's true. So
they actually get a chance to compete.
Yep. Guinea-Bissau losing another match. Well, their first match. Comoros with a win. First win for them.
There you go.
Angola about to get another 3 points to add their already current 3 points. With a win over the dud team Lesotho. So it's that's a good start, I think, for Angola. You know, we thought they were going to be sort of like one of the bigger teams. Vinnie Jones is our referee, so everyone's getting punched.
Oh, good sake. Bloody Vinnie Jones.
Why does this game have a V Jones as a referee? Surely they... Were they thinking of that as well? That's what I'm thinking about. Thought you said you were good.
Well, I thought I was. I turned my microphone down as well, but it didn't work.
No.
So, yeah, don't forget to cut that. You can cut my audio.
I ain't cutting any of mine.
Oh, okay. Well, there's a cough for you.
You can sod that. Right. Well, I didn't cut out the lovely moment from a couple of years ago, so why do you think I cut that out?
Oh, the piss.
The piss, yes.
The cheeky piss.
The cheeky piss.
Mad.
That's just proof, actually. That piss is just complete proof that, you know, it's like the FTC can't say that this content is for children, so there you go.
Yeah, it's probably going to get removed now you said that.
You can get fined 42 grand for that. Per video, so... Why am I uploading more videos?
I don't know.
I'm gonna be like $1 million in debt by New Year. It's like, is America's bloody economy that busted at this point? They have to go after us little content creators.
I guess so.
Sods. Anyway, next up, it's Niger versus Malawi.
It's going to be a tough game to call this one.
Yep, Malawi currently have an unbeaten record. Niger with a loss. It ends in a draw between the two.
There you go. Points all round, but it's probably not what they need. Neither of them need at this stage of the competition.
Yep, Namibia now versus Rwanda.
There you go.
Rwanda won their first match. Namibia didn't. But Namibia have won this one with a 3-1 win.
Good result for Namibia.
Sierra Leone now versus Tanzania. Sierra Leone won their first match. Tanzania went on to lose their first match 3-0. And Sierra Leone get the victory, moving them up to second place.
Good stuff for Sierra Leone. I think they've had a couple of wins so far, so they're doing all right.
Yeah, they're doing very good. Next up, South Sudan versus Togo. And it's a 3-3 draw.
That's quite surprising. I would have thought that Togo would have had that.
Yeah, very big, very entertaining match for all there. 3-3. Zimbabwe now versus Kenya. 5th versus 6th. Both teams won their first match. And this one ends in a draw.
Draws.
Draws everywhere. Mozambique versus the Central African Republic. Two teams who lost their opening match. And it ends with a Mozambique win.
Ta-da!
1-0 to Mozambique. They can move up to 10th with 2 fixtures down. 13 to go. Now Comoros about to get some points here as Lesotho are about to give them some easy points.
It's looking like it's going to be... I think so far Comoros is doing all right. You know, they've won a game. They're going to be a bit higher up in the table after this win as well. You know, they might... There you go.
They could be pretty okay. That would make them the third of these replacement teams to make it to the Global Trophy qualifiers. Following Montenegro and New Caledonia.
Absolutely. New Caledonia did all right then, didn't they?
Yeah, they both already made it last couple of weeks. And the last one, spoiler alert, is already through. The last one, which is in the Americas section.
They're already in the competition.
They're already in the qualifiers. Yep. They finished that well.
Wow.
Anyway, next up, it's Guinea-Bissau versus Angola.
So we're very excited to see how the other teams get on. You know, obviously you got these new teams coming in, and I wonder who they've got representing them.
Exactly. Angola with a 2-1 win over Guinea-Bissau. That keeps their record pretty perfect. You know, 3 wins at the moment, no losses. They have just let in their first goal.
That's all they need. Well, they just do what they need to do, don't they? They're just trying to get through.
Exactly. Malawi now versus Rwanda, which I believe I remember I used to call them the Big R at one point.
The Big R.
The Big R. And it's a loss for the Big R.
Oh,
it's Malawi with the win. 2-1.
Important win from Malawi there.
Yep. Next, it's Namibia versus Niger, which ends 2-0 to Namibia. Good run for them.
Yeah, they're on a good run at the moment. They're looking like they could end up in that qualifying area, but they just need to keep on top of where they're at the moment.
Yep. Togo now taking on Sierra Leone.
Probably go Togo win this one.
Well, your initial response of would have been about alright, which was it's a 1-1 draw.
Oh.
But still, I'd say two pretty decent sides here. I'd say that's a good result for both teams.
Yeah, I think a loss for neither of them is a good effort.
Yep. Tanzania now versus South Sudan.
I don't know.
It's a South Sudan win, 1-0 against Tanzania.
On South Sudan, they're looking all right as well at the moment. They're not, not the most amazing start, but they're doing okay.
Yeah, they're in 9th so far. They're not doing too bad.
Yeah, they're in contention.
So, yeah. Zimbabwe now currently lying in 7th place versus Mozambique, who are in 11th.
Interesting match, this one.
It's a win for Mozambique. See, Mozambique's only loss has been at the hands of was it Angola?
Yeah.
So
I think considering Mozambique are the highest ranked team in this as well in terms of FIFA ranking, it's kind of surprising that they're so low.
yeah, but they did lose to the beasts that are Angola. So I'm not surprised about that loss. But apart from that, they're doing pretty well as well, to be honest.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, absolutely.
Kenya now versus the Central African Republic. Central African Republic with no points to their name. Kenya's got 4 at the moment in 2.
Probably going to go for a win for Kenya here.
It is 4-0 Kenya.
There you go.
And as we go to the end of fixture 3, we have 5 teams who have not lost a game yet.
Wow. Pretty good effort so far.
Yeah, only Angola has not dropped a point.
There you go.
So Angola with a 2-point lead over Kenya, Sierra Leone and Malawi. Speaking of Malawi, it is now Comoros versus Malawi.
Poor match then for Comoros.
There's another cough. It's a win for Comoros. They beat Malawi 3-1.
There you go.
So Malawi suffer their first defeat. Next up, will Angola suffer the same fate? They've got Namibia, who currently lie in 6th.
Trying to see who's got the upper hand here.
It is a 1-0 win for Namibia. Angola lose their first match.
It's about time, but they've well done to Namibia there.
That leaves Sierra Leone, Kenya, and Togo as the only 3 that have not lost a game yet.
Wow. So far, so good.
Yep. Niger now take on Guinea-Bissau.
Guinea-Bissau have done alright so far.
And a 3-3 draw.
Another 3-3 draw.
Another 3-3 draw, yes, yeah. Lesotho now will drop some points here to Rwanda, the Big R.
The Big R.
I can see this one being incredibly close.
Yeah.
Like this entire league. Hey, look at that flag. Look at that Big R.
The Big R.
Look at that. But yes, I can actually see this one being very close, this preliminary league.
Yeah, I mean, there's no standout team. Like, you know, okay, you look at the European sector, you think, okay, Czech Republic are probably going to go through.
Russia's going to do pretty well.
Yeah, Greece should have done better than what they did. But considering that they managed to somehow shithouse their way, through due to a technical error on Chris's part.
Yep.
But
it's the LFK error. It's not my fault.
Yeah. But there you go. So there's a few teams that were standout teams, but in this section here, there's no one that's really like going to take hold of it and grab it by the spuds, basically.
Well, there are probably a couple of teams that we know aren't going to make it, but there are certainly more that have a chance of making it than not. Next match, it's Zimbabwe versus Sierra Leone. Zimbabwe currently in 10th place. Sierra Leone's in 5th. And it's a draw between the two sides.
There you go.
Central African Republic now versus South Sudan at the bottom half of the table. 12th and 15th respectively. And that ends in a 0-0 draw as well.
Quite a lot of draws going on in this game.
Certainly is, yeah. Tanzania now, also at the bottom of the table, now in 15th after Central African Republic's draw, getting their first points on the board, take on Kenya.
I just want to see, I think Kenya probably going to win this one.
They are, but not by much. 1-0, but it's enough.
It doesn't really matter if it's not by much as long as they get the win, right?
Yep. Mozambique versus Togo. It's 8th versus 9th here. Big match between these two.
Yeah, absolutely. Big opportunity for both teams to move forward.
And it's Togo with the win. 2-1.
Yeah, good play by their Togo.
So Togo, Sierra Leone, and Kenya still without a loss so far as we go into the second quarter of the league here.
Yep. Obviously, you have to imagine that some of those unbeaten runs will come to an end sooner rather than later.
Yep, maybe in this next fixture, which includes Comoros versus Namibia first. Two teams at the high point, 4th and 3rd respectively, and it's a win for Namibia.
Good win for Namibia there, and they're doing all right at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah, they got 12 points out of 15, so they're sitting pretty so far.
Yep.
Next up, it's Malawi versus Angola. Again, two teams in that top 7.
Yep, two teams that should be aiming for qualification.
Yep, Angola back on winning form, though, with a 2-0 win.
Well on to them.
Next up, it's the Big R versus Guinea-Bissau. Rwanda currently in 8th, so they're not doing too bad, but they need to stop pushing up. Guinea-Bissau down in 12th so far.
Yeah, they need to start. If they want to qualify this year and be one of the 3 Guineas in the main competition, they need to start winning games. And fast.
Yeah, well, it's a draw, I'm afraid, so...
it's not enough, is it? Not enough.
It's not. Niger about to get some points here against Lesotho. But at the moment, there's really no big standout teams that are just sort of running away with it.
No, because from the start, Czech Republic kind of ran away with theirs, and Malaysia were definitely the dominant team in Asia. So. Oh
yeah, definitely. But in this one, there doesn't seem to be any sort of big front runners. Even like maybe 2 of them or something. It's all very close.
Yeah. So far, it's very evenly matched between all of them.
I mean, we do have 3 teams that are still undefeated, but they've drawn a couple of games as well. So.
Yeah. So they're not going to equal the points of
like Malaysia
or
Czech Republic.
Yeah.
No.
Yep.
And with that, with D. Fellis being the man of the match for that match for no reason whatsoever, Niger move up to 12th with their first win on the board.
There you go. Well done to Niger.
Sierra Leone now, one of the teams who is undefeated versus the Central African Republic. And it is a win for Sierra Leone. 2-0.
Well done to Sierra Leone.
Zimbabwe currently in 10th place versus South Sudan, who are all the way down in 13th. Big match, big win needed for one of these teams, and it is Zimbabwe who will get the win. Very important. That puts them up into that sort of higher threshold now.
Yeah, it keeps them safe from the immediate threat of the teams behind them, and it keeps them in the kind of in there.
Yeah, Mozambique now versus Tanzania. Tanzania right at the bottom. Mozambique currently in 10th. It's another draw.
There's been a lot of draws in this segment, hasn't there?
Yeah, Mozambique only on 7 points out of 15 so far. They're in 9th. Next up is Kenya versus Togo. 2 teams who are currently undefeated.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting one to see.
And Togo's ends with a 2-0 win for Kenya.
Good result for Kenya there.
Yep, and Kenya moves up to first place. Togo down into 7th, but still just barely above that 8th place dud spot.
I think they will survive that Togo as well, because they've got a good set of team there, so they should be okay.
Yeah. Next, it is Comoros versus Niger. Niger currently in 12th. Comoros up in 5th so far. And it ends in a draw.
What a surprise.
Niger, they've got 3 draws so far of Niger.
Unreal.
Half of their matches have been draws. Next up, it's Angola versus Rwanda. Rwanda currently in 8th place. They need a win here against one of the bigger teams, in my opinion, in Angola.
Yeah, Angola are doing alright at the moment.
Yep, another win for Angola. Rwanda down into 9th, putting Mozambique in that top 8.
Yeah, they're doing it right, aren't they, so far, Angola? I think they're looking pretty solid. You know, no one, again, running away with this competition, but they're doing a good job so far.
Yep. Guinea-Bissau now on 5 points in 12th place versus Malawi in 10th place on 7. Big match between these two, and Guinea-Bissau with the win.
Wow, they actually have started picking it up.
4-0 as well, so
Good,
big result.
Great result.
Moving them up to 6th place. That's how close it is at the moment already.
There's not much points between top and bottom, is there?
Not really, no. It's only going to be interesting to see how it is at the end of the season. But with this, that just means you just got to keep winning when other teams are drawing in this case.
Yeah, there's no one really standing out at the moment because they're all drawing with each other. There's not much points difference.
I'd say possibly Angola and Kenya are probably the two standouts, but everyone else, it's fair game.
Yep.
Anyway, Namibia about to get some points here against Lesotho. So that's a three-pointer there for Namibia. Very much needed. And
absolutely.
Yep, we're going to be moving on to our next one, which is Kenya, Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone and Kenya, the two undefeated teams going against each other now, 3rd and 4th.
So maybe one of the unbeaten runs will end.
It does, and it's Sierra Leone's that ends. Kenya with the win.
So Kenya are the longest team unbeaten in this competition.
Yep, Mozambique now versus Sudan. Mozambique currently in 9th, Sudan down in 13th. But a win for South Sudan, there you go.
See, this is just so close.
It is incredibly close so far. Zimbabwe now versus Tanzania. Zimbabwe in 7th, they're not safe. They need a win here.
No, absolutely not. They need to start picking up some points.
Against Tanzania, who's only got 1 point so far.
Surely a win for them.
It is a win for Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe move up to 4th place.
There you go.
And the last match of the 6th fixture is Central African Republic versus Togo.
Probably going to go for a Togo win.
It is 3-0 to Togo.
Well done, Togo there. Well done.
Yep, so it's... Okay, so the top 3 are 16 points, 15 points, 15 points. Then it goes 11, 11, 11, 10, 8, 8, 7, 7, 7.
It's very close.
So the top 3 that are running away with it, I'd say it would be Kenya, Angola, and Namibia.
Anyway.
It's
so close. Like those top 3 are separated by 1 point.
Yep, but then it's 4 points between them and everyone else. So I'd say
it's crazy.
They're front running it, but that does mean that there's still 4 spots remaining and there's not many points in it. Sneeze this time. Not a cough. Right, next up it is Rwanda versus Andorra.
Probably going to say Andorra probably going to win this one.
Yep, Comoros. Oh, it's a draw between the two sides.
Nah, fair enough.
So Rwanda, 10th, could have done with the win. Andorra, 7th, really could have done with the win. Nothing comes from it.
Yeah, they both could have done with the points there, but obviously they were trying to risk it for the points, end up in a draw.
Exactly, and it ended 2-2. So yeah, both teams going for it, but neither could get it. Next, it's Niger versus Angola. Angola, one of those top 3. We're going to keep their good runs going with a 3-1 win. Next, we got Namibia, again one of those top 3, versus Guinea-Bissau, who recently, good result for them.
Yeah,
Can they keep it up?
You got to think Namibia are the favourites, though.
They are, and they do win with a 1-0 win.
Yeah, good job from Namibia there.
Yep, Malawi now about to get some points. 3-pointer against Lesotho.
Good start for them as well. I think unfortunately, there's just no one standing out at the moment, really, is there?
Well, we got the top 3, but then there's no one standing out in those top 3.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so close. It's so close.
I mean, those top 3, I think, are pretty certain of going through, unless something massive happens.
Yeah, unless they completely fall apart, which is possible. It has happened before.
They could pull a Belarus.
They could pull a Georgia.
Yeah.
There you go.
But if that does happen and sort of like those top 3 go through, that's still these 4 spots, and those 4 spots, those positions change very quickly from fixture to fixture.
Yep, they absolutely do.
Next up, Sierra Leone, currently in 6th place versus Mozambique in 12th. Shocked to see how low they are at the moment.
Yeah, Mozambique, the top-ranked team in this, but I think Sierra Leone are going to pick up the win here.
They do, 4-1. Big
Good
result
as well. Big result as well, yeah.
Yep. Kenya now looking to try and take top spot back with a battle against South Sudan, who currently lie in 10th.
Unbeaten Kenya.
They're still unbeaten. 3-0 Kenya. Go back to the top of the table.
Great idea for them, and it's still doing a good job, aren't they?
Tanzania versus the Central African Republic. Two teams who have not got a win as of yet. Tanzania with the win, and they stay in 14th.
Poor guys, man. Poor Central African Republic as well. They're having a real tough time of things.
Yeah, they're in 15th. They're looking worse.
Yep.
So far. Togo now versus Zimbabwe. It's 6th versus 5th here. This is a very important match for both teams.
It's very true.
And it's a win for Zimbabwe, and they move up to 4th.
Good result for them. Well done.
Yeah, they alongside Sierra Leone are starting to pull away from the 6 and below.
Which is what they need to do that kind of thing. There's no, like, if you're in that kind of messy zone from like 5th down to 8th, like there's no guarantee you're going to be able to stay in the top 8 or end up in the dud team.
Exactly. So next up we have Sierra Leone, who are currently in 5th, versus Comoros, who are currently in 7th. So they're currently safe, but they could do with a win here.
There you go.
But Sierra Leone keep their winning ways going with a 1-0 win.
Well. They are playing very well.
Yeah, they're doing incredibly well. Angola now in the top 3, going against South Sudan, who currently lie in 10th.
Angola probably the favourites, though.
It's a draw between the two sides.
It's quite surprising, that.
South Sudan holding Angola to a draw, their first draw. This is South Sudan's 3rd draw in 8th.
So many draws.
Exactly. Tanzania now versus Guinea-Bissau. Guinea-Bissau still in with a chance. They're in 10th so far. Tanzania pretty much out of it at this point, I think. But they've won again!
Ooh.
Tanzania on the rise, possibly. Tanzania up to 12th with a win over Guinea-Bissau. Togo now about to get some points.
Togo are one of the better teams in this, certainly. I think they'll be fine.
Yeah, Togo getting some points against Lesotho. A much needed 3 points at the moment. They are in that area where, they could go through, but they could not. It's that close. And they don't want to be in that area. They want to be sort of like in the higher regions where they don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, exactly.
And it doesn't have to come down to, like, the final day of the season or something.
Mm. We'll see.
Like last year's European preliminaries or something like that, where it came down to the last match, pretty much. So
it's always fun when that happens, though.
Oh yeah, it's not fun for them, but it's great for us.
Yeah, it's good entertainment.
Next up, Zimbabwe, currently lying in 5th versus Malawi, who are in 8th. They're still in it somehow. Then probably not in it anymore though. Zimbabwe with a 4-0 win.
Zimbabwe looking good as well.
Yep, Namibia now versus the Central African Republic. Namibia in the top 3.
Central African Republic pretty much out of it.
And it's a 1-0 win for Namibia.
Well done to them, and that's I'm sure they'll be happy with that.
And then it's Kenya, Niger, which ends with a 3-0 win for Kenya. So those top 3 still looking strong. Angola lost a couple of points though, so they could start dropping.
But, Kenya's still unbeaten as well, doing a good job.
Yeah, doing a very good job. Mozambique now versus Rwanda. Rwanda currently in 11th place. Mozambique have dropped to 13th.
It's really gone badly for them, hasn't it?
Yeah, and this ends in a draw as well.
Oh, man, it's just all falling apart for them.
It certainly has. We're going to go to the second half of the league now with Comoros versus South Sudan.
Comoros are doing all right. I think they could probably make it through on this one.
Yep, 7th place versus 9th. It's another draw. It's South Sudan's 4th draw.
For God's sake.
Now we have a big battle between two teams. It's Angola versus Sierra Leone. There's a big fight feel here. And Angola get the win.
Well done to Angola. They're looking strong as well.
They are looking strong. After a slight hiccup, but they're sort of back, looking strong, looking to solidify that third place.
Yep.
Togo now versus Guinea-Bissau.
Togo, probably the stronger team of the two.
Yep, and they do win 3-0. Togo up to 5th.
Congratulations to Togo.
Tanzania getting their 3rd win on the board. They've got Lesotho now.
So making a rise up the table, aren't they?
Here, this is the momentum that could take Tanzania into the top 7 from being one of the worst teams.
At the start of the game, weren't they? They were really struggling at the start, weren't they?
Yeah, but now it's sort of mid-season and they are starting to motor upwards with victory after victory. This is their 3rd win in a row. Now you expect that from a team like, Kenya or Angola, but not Tanzania.
Yep, starting to rise their way up the table, and if they carry on at this rate, you never know, they might even sneak into that 7th spot.
They certainly could, while everyone else is drawing. I mean, that's what makes it so interesting, this bit. Tanzania all the way up to 9th place. Malawi now versus the Central African Republic. Malawi currently lying in 10th. Central African Republic down in 15th with only a point to their name. They still only have a point to their name. It's a win for Malawi, who move up to 7th.
Poor Central African Republic.
Yeah, they're not doing well.
They're not doing well at all.
Namibia now versus Zimbabwe. It's 3rd versus 4th here.
Big match for both of them.
Yeah, we're looking to solidify that top 3, but Zimbabwe get the win.
Closing the gap.
And closes the gap, so now maybe we'll have a top 4. Niger now versus Mozambique. Mozambique down in 13th. Niger not much below them.
Yeah, these two are probably some of the weaker teams in there.
And it ends in a draw.
Oh dear.
That leaves Kenya and the Big R, which ends with a 1-0 win for Kenya. Kenya move 3 ahead.
Because of course it does.
Yeah, of course it does. Comoros now versus Tanzania. Can the run of Tanzania continue here? Against Comoros, who are in 8th. They're not that much. There's only 2 points difference.
Not out of it, are they?
Yeah. Tanzania with another victory.
They're on fire.
4 wins in a row for Tanzania. They've moved up to 7th place.
Wowee.
They went on a run of, 6 games, 1 point. And now they've just won the last 4.
What an amazing run this is. They genuinely might sneak into this top 8.
They certainly could. They certainly could, yes. Angola now take on Togo. It's 2nd versus 5th here. And it's a win for Angola. They're staying strong so far.
Yeah, looking very strong. And I think they might end up sort of pull away now.
Certainly could. Guinea-Bissau and Sierra Leone now. Sierra Leone in that top 8. Guinea-Bissau nowhere near it at this point.
Yep.
And a 1-0 win for Sierra Leone keeps them looking pretty good.
Yep, so far so good for them.
South Sudan about to get some points. They need some points at this stage. They're in 10th place, so they need these 3 points against Lesotho.
To keep them in the contention, really.
Yeah, but the big talking point here has got to be Tanzania. They have played amazingly in the last 4 games, and they're now right in contention now.
Absolutely, they've won 4 on the bounce.
It's been a very sudden rise, and now it's just all about trying to carry that momentum to the rest of the preliminaries, and they should be safe. They should be fine.
Should be alright.
Yeah, but it's just all about just trying to keep that momentum going, and that's the tough bit.
Can they do it, though? That's the question.
Well, I'm sure we'll find out at some point. We're getting to the final 5 fixtures here. Kenya, Malawi next. Kenya, first place pretty comfortably at the moment, if they can beat Malawi, who currently lie in 9th. They do beat Malawi.
Wow, there you go.
Mozambique now versus Namibia. Namibia currently in 3rd, Mozambique down in 12th.
It's looking pretty sad for Mozambique, isn't it? Considering they're the highest ranked team.
Well, they've just beat Namibia. Maybe it's not over yet.
Maybe it's not over yet.
Niger now battles Zimbabwe. Niger, who are currently in 14th. Zimbabwe are in 4th. And Zimbabwe beat Namibia and have taken their spot in the top 3.
Wow. There you go.
Rwanda, who currently lie in 12th versus the Central African Republic. And the Central African Republic get a win!
Finally! They've waited so long.
They have beat the Big R, and they've got some it doesn't matter, but still.
They've waited so long, and they've finally done it.
They've indeed they've been waiting so long for that. We're going into the next fixture now. Kenya, all they require is 1 point to go through. Togo and Andorra ends in a Togo victory. Comoros not looking too good now. They're down into 10th place.
1 more point for Kenya, though. That's an amazing performance.
Yeah, Tanzania now. They've got Angola.
Tough one for Tanzania.
It is a tough one. It ends in a draw. The run continues.
But they didn't win, though.
But it's against, I think they'll take that against the current second-ranked side.
Yeah, that's a great result for them.
Sudan now versus Guinea-Bissau.
2 teams on the kind of outskirts of the top 8.
Yep, Sudan currently in that 8th place. Guinea-Bissau right down in 13th.
Oh.
And that ends in a draw.
It's not what they needed at 8th place.
Exactly. Sierra Leone about to get some points here against Lesotho. But Tanzania getting that draw against Angola. As much as it's a draw, and you probably don't want draws at this point, I think against a team like Angola, I think that's a good result.
Yeah, I think so.
So yeah, Tanzania with a nice draw there against Angola. They're currently still in 8th, but they drew with Angola while South Sudan drew with Guinea-Bissau. So
yeah, exactly. They drew with a top-ranked team, so you got to think that's a good run for them still.
I'd say momentum's still on their side at the moment.
Yeah, I would agree.
But we're starting to see where the breakaway is, and the breakaway is in those top 5.
Yes, the bigger teams are now starting to step up their game a little bit and keep moving forward.
Yeah, well, let's put it this way. Between... Oh, no, top 6, actually. So the top 6, there's 6 points between 6th and 7th.
Oh, wow. So if you have to be very good to be getting to 7th then.
Exactly.
Just hope.
Mozambique now versus Malawi. Mozambique, it's not over for them yet. They did have a very impressive victory last time round, and they've just won again.
Maybe momentum's on their side now.
Yeah, Namibia now, currently down in 5th place versus Kenya. Undefeated. Still undefeated are Kenya.
Can Kenya repeat the antics of Czech Republic and Malaysia going unbeaten in the preliminaries?
It certainly could, but more importantly is that Kenya is through.
And well done to them, deservedly so.
Yep. Central African Republic versus Niger ends in a 2-2 draw at the bottom half of the table.
Yeah, I think they're both pretty much done at this point.
Yep. Zimbabwe now take on Rwanda. With Zimbabwe picking up a 2-0 win and moving up into 2nd place.
How many points do they need now to get through?
I believe they're already through.
Oh.
They are already... Oh, no. They require a point. Both them and Angola need a point.
Okay, that's a good effort from them too.
Yep. Andorra now, battling Zimbabwe. Comoros has moved down into 11th.
Ooh.
Not looking so good. Zimbabwe up to 2nd place. And the run continues in Zimbabwe. Are through as well.
Congratulations to Zimbabwe. Well done.
Angola have got the Central African Republic, and they have also gone through. 3-0.
Yeah, Central African Republic really struggling, and Angola picking up the easy win there.
Yep. Kenya now versus Guinea-Bissau. Kenya already through. And another 2-0 win for them.
Yeah, they're running away with it now, aren't they?
Yep. Mozambique. 3rd win on the trot for them against Lesotho. It's a battle between 2 teams with momentum.
Yeah, you got the team in 8th place. At the moment, it was it? I can't remember who it was.
We had South Sudan in there at one point.
Yeah, and then you got, was it Namibia and now Mozambique starting to come through the field?
Yep, and Tanzania, obviously.
Tanzania, that was it, yeah.
Yep, Tanzania's been on a pretty decent run as of late, but the problem is that those top 6 are looking pretty certain to go through unless something drastically goes wrong. So
yeah, you've only got 2 spots to go for.
Yeah, and 2 teams on really good momentum at the moment. Battling it out for that one spot that will give them a chance and one spot that will just mean that they'll lose.
But at least they've both got a chance between them at least.
Yep. Sierra Leone now versus Malawi. Which ends with a 2-1 win for Malawi. They're not out of it either.
Well done, Malawi. Sierra Leone, that's a bad loss for them.
Yep, Namibia now versus South Sudan. Big result needed for South Sudan. Oh, it's a draw between the two sides.
Not really good enough at this stage.
Niger versus Tanzania. That ends in a draw. Maybe Tanzania's run's starting to slow.
Trying to fall apart, maybe.
Yeah, but Togo ends up with a 4-1 win over Rwanda to lead us into the final 3 fixtures. Sierra Leone and Namibia, all they need is a win apiece. So does Togo. And they will go through. Central African Republic first up against Comoros, who have moved still in 11th here.
This will be very interesting.
Still have a chance, but it's an outside chance. It's now even more of an outside chance. They've just drawn against the bottom side.
It's not good enough, really. Not good enough if you need to be winning those kind of games.
Exactly. Zimbabwe versus Angola. 2 teams that are already through here. But they will want to fight for the honours. And it ends in a draw, meaning that Kenya will start to move ahead again.
Yep, absolutely.
Mozambique versus Guinea-Bissau. Mozambique have been able to move back up into the top 7 here. And a win here will be very important. But it's a win for Guinea-Bissau, and another turn happens.
Maybe it's not over for them either.
That puts Malawi, Sudan, and Tanzania right back in the running.
Wow.
For 7th. This is going to go down to the wire.
How many fixtures are left?
This is the 3rd to last.
It's going to be so close.
And all those teams have got a game in hand over in Mozambique.
It's going to be so close. It's going to be so close.
The fact is that 2 of them aren't going to make it to the Global Trophy Finals, or the Global Trophy Qualifiers. One of them is going to be the dud team, and one of them is actually going to have a shot at it.
It's going to be so close.
We did say earlier, I'm not saying we are Nostradamus, but we did say earlier this would probably go down to the wire.
Yep.
And I think we're pretty spot on with that one.
Absolutely, because there's no standout team. There's no standout team.
Yeah, they're all making mistakes and everything like that. And Malawi now versus Sudan. Malawi in 8th place. Sudan in 9th. Big battle between these two. It ends with a win for Sudan.
Poor Sudan.
With Central African Republic, Rwanda and Niger now definitely out of the running.
It doesn't leave much left to... it's going to be between those 4 teams, I think.
Exactly. Sierra Leone now versus Namibia.
Sierra Leone for me.
It's Namibia, 3-0. Namibia move up to 4th. Sierra Leone down into 6th place.
So it's not exactly safe yet.
Not yet, but they're pretty close. Togo versus Niger. A win.
Togo, surely.
Yep, a win for Togo puts them through, and they are through. Togo are through. They've qualified.
Well then, to Togo there.
Tanzania now versus the Rwanda. The big R.
The Rwanda.
It's a win for Rwanda. Oh, no. That's bad for Tanzania.
It's all kind of fell apart at the wrong time.
Yeah, so we have 6 teams that still have a chance to get to that top 7. 6 with 2 games to go. One of them is Comoros, but they've got Kenya up next, and they need to win. They need to win to have a chance.
Yep.
Nope, it's over. Kenya with the win.
Well done to Kenya.
Comoros, the first of those 6, eliminated.
Shame for them, but good first appearance for them in the Global Trophy.
Yep. Angola versus Mozambique. Mozambique currently in 8th place. They really need a win here. They can afford to lose, but they really don't want to. Not with that goal difference they've got.
Yep.
Oh, it ends in a draw. That's not the worst thing to happen.
Considering it's the, for that, considering who they're playing against as well, they're a top team.
Yep. This does mean that this knocks Guinea-Bissau out.
Wow.
At that stage. Guinea-Bissau can still make it into 8th, but they can't make it into 7th anymore.
It's a shame, but...
They couldn't make it there anyway, because Zimbabwe just beat them 1-0.
Oh dear, well it's a shame for them, but well done to Zimbabwe. Clinical performance from them again.
Yeah, we are down to 4. Mozambique, Sudan, Malawi, Tanzania.
They're the only ones that can qualify now.
Yep, Central African Republic finally going to get... Well, they're going to get another win on the board here with a win over Lesotho.
Well done to them. But still far too little. Still far too late.
Oh yeah, way too late. Way too late that. But the fact is, we're nearly at the final fixture, and there are still 4 teams
that can get into 7th place.
Yeah, it's that crazy. It's that close.
That is crazy.
Yeah, and I'm sure we got our battle stations now, and everyone's drawn the line and chosen which team they want to go through.
Who do you think's going to be that goes through?
A
7th place.
I think it'll be Mozambique, and I think South Sudan will get 8th.
Okay.
You?
I think you're probably right, to be honest with you.
Well, that's what I'm thinking at the moment. It could be Tanzania, for all I know. It could be Malawi, the team that we've kind of not been talking about much.
They've kind of slowly come back into it, haven't they?
Yeah, they've got Tanzania, so a win. Tanzania need a draw at least, but then they need to destroy their last opponents. They need a win here. Malawi could do with a win as well.
They really could.
The 2 lower teams. Tanzania with the win!
Wow.
And that's Malawi hanging on the edge.
Kind of back into it now. They've really brought themselves back into this.
It could be for nothing if South Sudan win. But we'll get that later. Namibia, Togo now.
Togo for me.
Yeah, but it does end with a win for Togo. Sierra Leone versus Niger. Should be a pretty simple victory. It is for Sierra Leone. 2-1. And they go through alongside Namibia.
Well done to Sierra Leone. Congratulations to them.
Sudan, Rwanda. This is a big match. If Sudan win, that knocks Malawi out and we're down to 3. They do win. Malawi's gone.
They go home. That's a shame, but they've done a good performance, and I think they were just poor performance at the start, really.
So,
really cost them.
Final fixture. 7th is Sudan with 21. 8th is Mozambique with 19. 9th is Tanzania with 18.
2 fixtures to go.
1 fixture to go.
Oh, 1 fixture to go. So how much is the goal difference between the 2 teams?
Mozambique's got -4.
Yep.
Sudan's got +4. Tanzania's got 0.
So there needs to be a bit of a swing in goals.
Just a bit, yep.
But it depends who has who.
Mozambique has got Andorra to kick off.
They need to win.
It's a winnable match. It's a win for Andorra. So Mozambique are out of it.
So we have our 8 teams.
Yep. But Mozambique could still get into that top 8. But they can't get 7th.
So the best they can hope for is the dud now.
Yep. Kenya, Angola ends with a 2-0 win for Kenya. They go undefeated. 43 points out of 45.
Very impressive. So they've equalled Czech Republic and Malaysia's score. Very well done to Kenya.
Very well played. Guinea-Bissau, Central African Republic ends with a win for Guinea-Bissau, but it's a bit too late for them now.
Yeah, it's just a bit of a nothing match, really.
Yep. Zimbabwe, who had a great rise to the sort of like the top echelons, they're going to get their 3 points from the Thutu finally.
They did alright there, did they, Zimbabwe? They started quite slowly, but they just crept through the table quite nicely towards the end.
Yeah, and they were getting wins when teams were getting draws and everything, and it was overall they were very fast, very quickly, just catching opposing teams off guard.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they needed to do. That they needed to make sure that they weren't going to end up in that kind of dogfight for 8th place, which is what it ended up being. Yeah,
and the dogfight for 8th place, it's going to be very interesting to see who's got who. Maybe they've got each other.
Well, this does mean, so Sudan, the worst they will get now is the dud position. So they are through. The only way...
Yes. Yeah.
The only way that... who's in 9th again?
Tanzania.
They need an 8-goal swing in their favour.
No, it's only 4, because it's +4 for Sudan and 0 for Tanzania.
Oh, they're on 0?
Yeah, okay. No, it's Mozambique that was on -4. They're already out of it.
Okay, so they need a 4-goal swing, so they need to win... They need to win at least 2-0, the other team to lose at least 2-0.
Could be that Tanzania face Sudan.
Could be.
We could have that. Togo versus Malawi next. Togo already through, Malawi already out. And a 3-1 win for Togo solidifies them in 3rd place.
Good. They've had a really strong run towards the end, Togo.
Yeah. Namibia, they've got Tanzania.
So Tanzania need to win.
They need to beat Namibia here. They don't. Tanzania's gone. Which means that Sudan are through.
Through without even having to kick a ball, and it doesn't mean that Mozambique will be The dud team.
Yep, and Sudan, just to add insult to injury, beat Niger 5-0.
Oh, so they were going to be fine anyway.
Yeah, Rwanda, Sierra Leone ends with a 2-0 win for Sierra Leone, which moves them up to 5th. Namibia finish in 6th. Sudan 7th, and Mozambique, they're going to be the dud team for this season.
Yeah, there you go. But quick word on Kenya. I think very good performance from them. I think they've got a great chance of, in fact, following on from Malaysia and Czech Republic and actually qualifying for the finals. They've been so strong in this section.
Certainly do, and it'll be very interesting with that. Be very interesting indeed. This has been a very, very fun one, I believe.
Yeah, very close towards the end. This is the closest it's been for, I think, all three of them, to be honest with you.
It certainly has been.
For there to be 3 teams like in contention right at the end.
Yeah, and then just slowly they get whittled out.
Yep. Absolutely.
But finally, we have our 8 teams. Which
So in first place we have Kenya.
Yep, with 43 points. Then with 36 points in second place is Zimbabwe.
Good effort from them. In third place, Togo.
Yep, with 32. Fourth is Angola with 31.
Fifth, Namibia.
No, fifth is Sierra Leone with 29.
Sorry. Yeah, then Namibia.
Then Namibia with 28. Seventh, Sudan with 24.
So a bit of a drop.
Yeah, Mozambique 8th place with 19. Even bigger drop.
Yeah.
9th, Tanzania with 18. 10th, Comoros with 16. 11th, Malawi with 16. 12th, Guinea-Bissau with 15. 13th, Rwanda with 12. 14th, Niger with 9. And 15th, Central African Republic with 9.
They had a really rotten run towards the end, didn't they? Central African Republic, and it's a shame for them.
Yeah, but Kenya have gone on to win the Africa section, which means, or the African preliminaries, which means that they, alongside Zimbabwe, Togo, Angola, Sierra Leone, Namibia, South Sudan, and Mozambique, will qualify for, in a month's time, the African Qualifiers of the Global Trophy.
Yeah, current holders of the Africa section are Liberia, winning it for the first time ever in last year in 2019.
Yeah, so could we possibly see Kenya on the rise, or Zimbabwe, or Togo, or even South Sudan barely making it through? Look, just making a name for themselves here.
We'll have to wait and see. I think it'd be interesting to see if Cameroon can win their first Africa section for the first time in 6 years.
Certainly will be, yes, and we'll have to wait for a whole month for that, because next week we've got the final of the preliminaries. Thank God for that, because these take way too long.
It's the Americas, yes.
Well, I guess you could technically call it the Central America section, because everyone from North America and South America are already through.
So it doesn't matter, mate. It's still the Americas.
It's pretty much the Central America section, including amazing teams that we all know and love, like Guyana, St. Kitts and Nevis, Nicaragua, Belize, Cuba, and the Cayman Islands.
Of course. Give me some explosions happening in that, I'm sure.
Money, money, money. Anyway, so that's been it from the Asia preliminaries, with Kenya
Africa.
the winners.
Africa.
Sorry, yeah, the Africa. With Kenya the winners. I've been Masterath.
I've been Sam at 64.
And we'll see you next week for the Americas preliminaries.